Greetings, dear fellow Renison travelers. I wanted to take a moment and to send a short message to bring you greetings as this new year begins, as this new academic term comes to the end of its first week. When we started last fall, I had so hoped that by the time we came to January, to the beginning of winter term, that the scenario that we are all dealing with in the context of this pandemic would have shifted, and that you, with your hopes and aspirations for your learning this year, would have those hopes more adequately met and fully addressed with a more normal academic experience, a more typical experience of university life. Sadly, as we all know, the first term, the fall term, came and went. The winter term is begun, and we know that what we are looking at is most likely a term that is going to be even more challenging than our fall term. I was thinking about you all a lot over the Christmas holidays, and what I felt was a certain sadness for you, that this year of study for you has to be what it is. And as I was reflecting on my own sadness for you about that, I was reminded of the Lord of the Rings. You may know the Lord of the Rings by J.R. Tolkien, either the books or the movies. You remember the central character is a young man on a journey of becoming just like all of you, whose name is Frodo. And as the story gets darker and more complicated, and you come to that volume or the movie, whichever you are familiar with, called The Fellowship of the Ring, you see Frodo going with really deep anxiety to his mentor Gandalf and saying, why is this happening? I so wish I had not been asked to live in a time like this. And Gandalf says, so do I. So do all of us. None of us wanted a time like this, but that's not given to us to decide. Gandalf says, what is given to us is to decide what we will do with this time that has been given to us. As I was thinking of that line from Tolkien and thinking of all of you, I wanted to share with you my feeling of deep esteem, my deep respect for all of you, my admiration. You have chosen what to do in the middle of a time such as this, a time like no other, a time that was not asked for, that was not wanted, that was not expected. You chose to forge ahead. You embarked on your studies this year. You survived fall term. You have come back and you're facing into winter term. You are keeping going. You are holding ahead of yourself with courage and clarity, a vision for the education which you are seeking as empowerment for the story that you want to live. And I just needed to say that to you. You could have chosen differently, and you didn't. You didn't give up. You didn't hold back. You didn't waver. You stood up into this particular moment and this time that's been given to all of us with courage and imagination and fortitude. And I am so inspired by your resilience. I do entirely hope that as winter term gives way to spring term and spring to another fall, that more ordinary times will indeed return to us. But in the middle of these times that none of us wanted and none of us expected or imagined, I just want to say that as you stand up with courage into the challenge of this chapter of your story, not what you wanted or expected, we are right behind you. Your professors, your staff, administrators at Renison, we are all standing right there behind you, supporting you, believing in you, wanting you to succeed, and standing ready, standing by, so that we will be there if you need to ask for a shoulder, a hand, a word, a moment. We are ready. We are there. And we are holding you, standing right behind. May we all survive this complicated winter term with something of grace. May our dignity and our hope and our imagination and our courage remain intact. I do entirely trust that if we support each other in this undertaking of living well into this time that none of us want, we will not only survive it, but we will succeed. We have the possibility of thriving. We will overcome. Stay well, beloved students, and if you need us, reach out. We're there.